Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and hello if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing a surprisingly very requested video. This is going to be my first impression and review of Calvin Klein's Obsession for Men. And like I said, I've gotten a handful of messages and comments to try this one because as you guys know, I've been doing a kind of like a series of trying and giving a first impression of different 80s and 90s fragrances. And apparently this one slipped under my radar and is a very important fragrance of the 80s and 90s. Apparently this one has been compared to being like the Baccarat Rouge 540 or the Dior Sauvage of the 80s. It was that popular, so AKA it was everywhere. So I'm very excited. I got this little tiny bottle, little baby bottle of Obsession, and I'm going to be smelling it. Is it still sexy and wearable in 2022? We'll find out. I'm also curious to smell this as well because I did an Instagram poll the other day. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure that you do so that you can be involved in my polls and in my future videos. I do a lot of interactive stuff on Instagram and I would love to have you over there. It's linked in the description. So I did a poll on if people liked Obsession for Men or not, and it was like total, like split right down the middle, 50-50. Yes, I like it. No, I hate it. So apparently it's a little bit polarizing. I think this is just a drop. Yep. Oh God. Okay, we're gonna try to do this without spilling oil everywhere. Oh my God, this might not have been a good idea. Now I'm gonna get like a fat dose. All right, I'm gonna do something that I normally never do. I'm gonna put it on my skin. What is the practical use of these things? Like, why is just a drop gonna come out? Like, I feel like this is a very impractical setup. Woo, yeah, a whole bunch came out. Well, I'll say, just right off the top, it's a lot more animalic than I was expecting. I recently smelled Koros for the first time the other day, and I'm kind of getting hints of that. A little bit of that like civet kind of animalic vibe. Nowhere near as bad as Koros though. That was just like unwearable. Okay. So I know this has a lot of warmth to it. It's like amber, vanilla, and cinnamon. I definitely can smell the cinnamon. It's a very distinctive note. I was not expecting to be on the fence about this. I'm kind of noticing like this funny running theme with these old school 80s fragrances is that they have 500 million notes in them. It's just basically any type of oil the perfumer could find and just meshing it all together, and that's your creation. Like, there are so many notes in this fragrance. Cinnamon, lavender, coriander, mandarin orange, lime, myrrh, nutmeg, carnation, rosewood, pine tree, sage, just basically everything you could think of. Jasmine, red berries, amber, sandalwood, musk, patchouli, and vetiver. And plus more. I definitely did not name them all, so I feel like I just wasted about 30 seconds of your time, but all right, it's drying down a little. I'm getting a lot like that kind of like pissy, like civet kind of scent is kind of going away a little bit and it's kind of turning into this more earthiness. Like the cinnamon and all that warmth is there at the top, but I'm kind of trying to smell beneath that and seeing what else is in there. And it just smells right now like kind of earthy. Patchouli is very strong in this. It's definitely very old school. I don't want to lie to you guys. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm so sorry if, you know, I'm doing this series on these 80s fragrances, 90s fragrances, and, you know, it was your signature scent and you loved it and it has so much like nostalgia connected to it for you and so many memories, and I'm coming on here and saying like, oh, I hate it. You know, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be like that at all. I want to give my honest opinion, which I will always do on this channel. It's just giving like grandpa. It's just giving like old man in a nursing home, like that grandpa, not like, you know, a hot grandpa, like nursing home grandpa. Maybe my grandpa used to wear this. And I've heard some people say that the opening kind of smells like Fireball, like cinnamon Fireball, like the, what is it, rum? I don't drink, I have no idea. But I don't really get it. I get much more of like the civet kind of animalic note in this. It's not my favorite, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like it. And I'm trying to be more open-minded because I know that this was the style back in the day. I have watched reviewers say that this was like one of the most notable smells, like you can smell it to this day. You know it's Obsession. There's nothing else like it. You know, it's a very unique scent, which I'm not disagreeing with. I probably could recognize this now too if I was out, but I don't like it. It's just too animalic for me. I'm not a big fan of the super pissy scents. I love cinnamon, I love warmth, I love vanilla, I love amber, I love wintertime scents, even though I live in Miami, but this one's just not doing it for me. I don't know. I give it maybe like a 4 out of 10. And apparently this thing is like beast mode, lasts forever. And I will also say, of course, there's been reformulation, so maybe the one that was released in the actual 80s was amazing and the new stuff is garbage. It's very possible. I don't know, I just can't get over that pissiness. I'm sorry. I don't recommend you wearing this. I think that an older woman could probably appreciate it. So, well, you know, same reason that an older man would appreciate it, because he was around in the 80s and it was nostalgic. It was the Baccarat Rouge 540. Thank God I was not born in the 80s or grew up in the 80s. Thank God I grew up in the actual Baccarat Rouge era because I would have been so annoyed if I smelled this everywhere I went all the time. Like I smell Baccarat Rouge 540 everywhere I go all the time. So yeah, guys, that's my review of Obsession for Men by Calvin Klein. I'm sorry if I broke some people's hearts. Leave a comment below what your opinion of Obsession is. I would love to hear it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram so you can be involved in future polls and videos and things like that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.